Hello, everybody. We brought you to the water so you can take in all the amazing energy because the water is so potent and powerful. So we figured we'd share.
Because we talked about the water, the last one. So you got to be fluid and going with it this one.
Yes, and the breeze.
Yes.
It's nice and breezy out here. So we're going to talk a little bit about being fluid through all experiences, situations, things that may be coming in, because I'm sure on a global stage and on a personal stage, there's a lot of things shifting, moving. I find in my life and world, just a lot of experiences coming up, which are nice little navigation tools, signs, puzzle pieces, all kinds of cool stuff if you're paying attention. Just even we noticed, I was saying that notice how many people you hear say, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. Oh wow, that's never happened. Or I didn't even know that was possible. Or well, that doesn't make sense. And I just told Renee, my friend, just words not discovered, introduced me to yellow watermelon. I didn't even know yellow watermelon exists.
I didn't need it until you showed it to me. I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
crazy.
So all these cool little things that and then there was one right after that. What was the one right after that? It was yellow
I
watermelon
was talking about the yellow kiwi.
and the yellow
Yeah.
So all these cool little things that I don't know, just coming in. So keeping it exciting. So anyway, on that note, and this is a personal
Hold on. Let it go by. We're going to let you hear this beautiful experience this while it goes by. I don't know if it'll pick up on it.
I bet it will.
I wonder. Either that or Zoom's going to quiet it out and they're going to be like, what are they waiting for? A plane was going by. So.
And this is so fun, the real, the raw. Okay, plane gone by, which is so cool, flying. It's all here. Look at this. Everything's coming into play for us. So, navigating all the circumstances and what I have been looking at, trying to hold a line of neutrality without letting people push your buttons, not in a way of you not getting angry, but trying to like make you feel guilty and with businesses into complying with their wants and needs, even though they're completely out of line, or friends that are pushing buttons and boundaries and you're like, what are you doing? Or all the circumstances to not get triggered, angry, feel like you're being in judgment, but also holding your line of being authentic to yourself and making choices that are true for you.
Yeah, and the judgment.
The judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Judging
Did I say judgment? I don't want to know.
Which at the last one we said we'd bring that one up. So we got to tie it in here.
Yes, because I think it was my husband. I was saying something. He's like, well, aren't you being judgmental? And I really had to check myself. I can't remember what we were talking about. And I was like, no, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying that that's my opinion and choice and why I don't agree with, maybe what something else is doing, but it's not a judgment thing. It's kind of just like holding my ground.
Yep.
Like, don't force me to do something that I'm adamantly against and I don't want to do, because that's me holding my ground.
And that's you realizing that no longer vibrates with you.
Yes.
It's no longer a vibrational match. So continue to move on and not think that your judgment is, oh my God, now you take that in because we're like, oh my God, she's being so judgy. She's telling you, and I don't mean her, like in general, like if we're talking about somebody, like, no, they're telling you who doesn't vibrate with them. And sometimes it's they don't vibrate with me because it's showing me too much of a mirror that I don't want to see. Which is very interesting and very cool. But the other thing is, right now there's so many things coming out. I'm just saying the world, like there's so much. I'm going to want to word the word judgment. There's so many things that are happening. Like example, we're going to use your restaurant as an example. If somebody has a meal and they don't particularly like it because it's not their taste, right? They're meeting because everybody has their own taste. And they go online because I find that's when people want to do reviews and want to do things and about anybody. It's always about the negative aspect. So if, they want to get on there because then they're safe, they're protected. You don't see me, you don't know, I can say whatever I want, I can destroy anything because this is, who I am and this is the world we're in. But it's so important to go back to the last episode and become that fluidity and the whole part of like, okay, look, if this is hitting my nervous system, and what am I going to do about this? Because we can't let those people, the loud noisemakers who clearly don't vibrate with us, that are, screaming and doing everything else, create the world we want to live in. They can create their own little world. So don't let that pull you into that energy, that whole aspect, so that you lose yourself and you're not standing in like you were, not standing in your thing. Like, no, this is not, like, I'm not going to kowtow to this. Does that make sense? Am I just rambling?
No, and it does. And I've kind of noticed me looking at mostly business stuff where, oh, is that even worth my time and energy? And what's interesting, before I was like, no, it's not, like almost like I don't see you, I won't engage. But kind of more, I feel like I'm more drawing a line now, and just responding to things like, yeah, no, that doesn't work and we're not doing that. Or not out of anger, which maybe there's the hidden secret. Before I would have been like, screw you. Blah, blah, blah. And now I'm just like, no, that doesn't work. And if that's, you said this, it's an alignment thing. And sometimes you need to spell out to people that you and I are not in alignment, or your thought and my thought, your opinion, it's not in alignment. So let's just let it have a clean break and be done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel it's nice because I have the restaurant as a reflection piece. And I will say people are complaining a lot more. Their expectations are really unrealistically and unreasonably high. It seems as if they are really looking for a fight on some level. And again, it's kind of interesting. And like you said, it's not like when they're on the property, they say something, they're
Right.
wait till they're home, then they, and then they always, want, what's the thing when you get something for free? Right.
Freebie. We're just gonna say a freebie.
Yeah, they just are looking for a freebie. And so we're bringing this up out of curiosity because I said, wow, there really is some swirl in the energy, and it's really making people, kind of behave and bring up situations, which creates it's a responsive one, but it can still be in the flow. Look at me, my hands.
I know. If we're just talking off camera, we're always with our hands, right? But what they were showing when you were talking about that, what they started to show was, look at all of the people that are losing control. They feel like they're losing control. I have to control this. So if you're starting to do that, somebody that's doing that and they're looking to attack and they're, doing the whole thing. And if you say, look, we're going to agree to disagree, that many actually years ago, that was okay. Before COVID, I feel like that was okay.
Right,
And
exactly.
then after that, it became like, no, you have to see my way. Well, you're never going to show somebody, you can say what you're going to say, plant the seed, who cares how it's watered, but then let it go. Don't, if that person wants to keep coming at you, let it go. Know that from what all the healers are showing and saying is they are losing their footing to their comfort zone. So as they're losing that footing, they want to control something. So they're lashing out more. And that's really, what it is. And they're actually saying that's globally. They're saying that's worldwide. That's what's happening. Whether they want to acknowledge that as that or not, that's what it is. So even if you're that part and, you're complaining about something, really stop and say to yourself, wait, why am I doing this? Am I losing my comfort zone? Am I stepping out of my comfort? Am I losing my footing? Which is a good thing because, right, you're moving forward. So sort of honor yourself for that and stop the complaining, stop the whatever, and also look, they're saying, also look within. Is this bothering me because this is what I would like to be? Or I'm seeing this because there's a part of me of that same, whatever it is I'm arguing about, whatever it is I'm seeing in this person or this thing that I don't like. Is there something in me within that? And that's sort of a tough one to really own and look, and I can say that from like, years ago, I was very angry. Man, I was always looking for a fight. That was it. I mean, and clearly with all the years and all the stuff doing stuff, like, now I'll see something or my husband will do something. I'm like, let it go. Who cares? Like, somebody will cut us off and take the parking space. I had my direction on here about, let me out of the car. I'm like, why? Who cares? It's parking space. What do I care? Clearly, the universe is saying, don't park here. We don't know why. Who cares? They'll let me, park elsewhere. And that's the other thing. Like going with the flow, that whole fluidity part of really, if things are holding you up, like if you're ready to go to work and I don't know why they're showing me the 9/11 thing, but you're ready to go to work and something's holding you up, or, oh my God, I got late, or, I got a flat tire, or somebody rear-ended me, or I woke up late, and you're rushing, you're doing stuff. They're saying, remember, you are where you are supposed to be. Oh, I know why they showed 9/11. Did you ever hear the story of all the people that weren't in that building? Because, yeah, one overslept, one had to get donuts that day. Like there was a couple stories of these different things. And they're saying, look at that from the aspect of, remember, you are exactly where you're supposed to be in that moment of time, or you wouldn't be there. So next time you're fretting about being late or doing that, know that you don't know what you're missing. You don't know if there's an accident or something happening that you're going to miss. And they're also saying, pay attention to your dreams, because if something is looking like it's going to play out that you no longer need to play out in your life because you're more aware, because you're putting all of these little tools and all these little things into effect, you will start to have dreams of different things that will remind you, like when it happens, you'll be like, oh my God, I remember this from something, I can't go forward, or I can't do, whatever it is, which sort of reminds me of a point, unless you got something to say about that. Like, cause I have a story on that one, which like years ago, I was always in a rush. I worked for an attorney. I was always in a rush. And I was driving in Buffalo, there's this 33, and I was driving down the 33, which there no animals, no nothing should be there. It's literally just a highway, right? And I'm digging in my purse for a Tic Tac. I was addicted to Tic Tacs like that. I'm digging in my purse for a Tic Tac, and I look up, and this car comes on, and this girl had these really cool braids that like made like a crown in her hair, right? And it looked really cool. And I was like, oh, that's like so cool in her hair. And her license plate was JGK. And then I don't remember the numbers anymore. But I had that like every night for a while. And I'm on the 33, speeding down because I'm late, speeding down, and I'm digging in my purse for a Tic Tac. Oh, because that was the thing. Okay, so she and the license plate. And all of a sudden, I look up, because I look back down for my Tic Tacs. Right, I look up and I see she has stopped dead, and all of a sudden, like I hear my brakes are going and I hear the crash. I don't see it because at that point, like I wake up like, what the hell? Sure enough, I'm 33, driving, digging around my purse, look up, girl comes in with these beautiful, cool, crazy, things. I look at her license plate, it's that license plate. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. I just put my thing and I backed way off. Sure enough, there happened to be a dog on the 33 that she stopped dead for, which I was so far behind, like it didn't mean anything to me. But so it's that thing up now. I had that like every night for, I think, about a week or 2 weeks. And I remember saying that to my husband at that point, and he was like, you're just crazy. It's just a dream. Don't worry about it, until it happened. Now I could have very easily been like, oh, okay, not paid any attention to that dream and just let it go every day. But it was something that really sort of stuck with me because I knew I like Tic Tacs. And right? So, but it's that point, like even the little things, if you're doing something and you're like, something just doesn't feel right, you no doubt had a dream and maybe you don't remember it, but pay attention to that gut feeling, the whole aspect, because the world's changing in a very, very big way. Big things are coming in the next couple of weeks. We have to have our awareness up in the front and center, be paying attention and doing what we know is right. Does that make sense?
It does. And we talked about this a little bit on Changemaker, and I don't think I got it all the way out of being aware of the like your sixth senses. I feel as if lately there's just knowing that things are going to happen. However, sometimes I'll have weird like memories of something that happened in the past, and a lot of it's been for me with like plumbing and electric and technology stuff. It's as if I know that it's gonna break down, and to like pay attention to it. And here's what got cool. I was watching, I knew that the toilet was gonna back up in our house, and I was saying it literally for weeks, like, "Where's that snake thing?" And, but I kinda had this awareness of, starting to use those extrasensory, um,
Senses.
well, powers
Okay, yeah.
to
Powers, I like
start
that.
creating a different reality. Like, so what I would do is like, well, I know that plumbing's gonna back up. I know that, oh, see, look, there's what I told you, that plumbing was gonna back up. But to not wait for the outcome that you know that's coming, to start doing things like you did. You backed up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's almost like a little, I love that idea of like puzzle pieces and treasures. And then this whole sorting and creation, instead of waiting for what you know is gonna happen, well, mix it up and let it go differently. I've also been with all the kind of stuff that's happening, I keep having all these memories of where something could have gone not good, but then someone happened to be there to change the course, or this happened at the last minute. And it's kind of like this thing. Well, and here is the thing. It's like, oh, were all the guides there? Everyone, the whole, entourage is around whoever it is, making sure things get diverted at the last minute or it doesn't get too bad. And then to be like, yeah, well, why does it have to be the guides and the entourage? Like, why can't it you be doing conscious creation? Because of course, only think that this, I'm going to say this only works if it's for the good. Don't intend something bad because that might not work out as you planned. This, do you see the birds in the back?
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm
So
totally, I'm totally like
Right.
squirrel, squirrel. Um, yes, but it's starting to get really interesting and cool. And if you're paying attention, it's really like that you're starting to create your reality, and you can start to morph things,
Mhm.
which is getting pretty exciting.
It is. I love that you use powers
Hours.
because we have that power in us, right? It's within us. And we always like to, we can say, oh, the healers or my higher self saved me or this, that. But how about you? You were creating something completely different. Like it was your creation. So I love that you said that. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, we can, not we can, because they're saying what we tend to do is give our power to them. And they're saying, we are bowing to you because you chose to come here on earth and experience the things you are. And we are only a reflection of what you are creating, of your manifestation, of your creation, whatever you want to call it, use any of the words. But they're saying, don't give us the power. Recognize that it's you. It's you, and they're helping us. They said, it's all we do is help you. And everybody talks about, free will and this and that and that. And they're saying it is your creation. Recognize that if something was maybe originally you were on a trajectory of, okay, I'm gonna like have an accident or something like that. And now you've done so many things and you've changed that. They said, we're just helping you to make sure that you don't do it. So we may steer you in the other direction, or we may make you late, or we may do a ton of other things, but only because that's your creation. So they're saying, please don't give us the power. We are bowing to you and we appreciate everything that you're there on that earth to do. And they're saying, notice, we're not here. We're not there on earth. We're not coming through as a physical form. So they're saying, honor yourself, honor the power that you have and who and what you are and what you're there for. And nobody listening to this, or even anybody on the earth, think that you're not there for an amazing and wonderful experience, because you are. They said that was your whole thing when you chose to come there. It's about bringing the world forward, about bringing our whole belief system forward into the remembrance of who and what we truthfully are, the power that we truthfully have. It's not truthfully about creation, they're saying, because you're really creating the remembrance. They're saying everything you are remembering, even us talking about this stuff. They're saying everybody that is listening to this brought the two of you to them from their own creation so that they could remember what they already know inside.
And that's what gets kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
if you, what did it say? Oh, I'm going to learn to fly a plane. Instead of thinking, oh, okay, now I just need to bring in the ability to fly a plane. It's like, no, you don't. You already know how. It's just a mind shift. And that's the stuff that'll come to me. I'm, practicing Spanish and it's like, well, why wouldn't you just remember how to speak it? Why do you got to do that Duolingo thing on your phone? I'm like, how does that work exactly?
It is, but that's what they said, you're like, everything, we know everything, just like, and I think we talked about this off camera a couple weeks ago, that, like, you're learning anything at all, like, or remember something, like, you have it inside of you. The more you're, whatever, becoming fluid, whatever the many, many things you wanna, say about that, the more you're bringing that wisdom and that knowledge forward. Because they're saying, look at your life and look at things in your life that you would have said something, or you have done something like, oh, I don't know how to do that. And they're saying, remember the wording. When you are telling somebody, oh, I don't know how to do that. Oh, I have to learn that. They're saying that is you now buying into that belief system, that human field that is all about separation. Saying, go back into the remembrance. And remember when we were talking about in the last session, you're running the water through you, right? Becoming fluid. What was the other thing you were doing? Recalibrating.
Yeah.
Recalibrating. So when you're doing that, they're saying you're also bringing in that remembrance, right? Because the remembrance is coming forward. You're recalibrating your system to go back into the remembrance of who and what you truthfully are. So as you're doing that, all of a sudden these wisdoms, these knowledge, this truth of who and what you are comes forward. Who knows every single thing. So instead of saying, I don't know that. So yeah, I choose to remember that. Yeah. And they're saying even when you go to bed, you can have that thought be just, I remember. Or during the course of the day, just say, I remember. I remember. You don't have to be specific about anything. They're saying as you say, I remember, or whatever word you have for that, the remembrance is going to start to move forward because you're giving that whole energy, that whole field of like, oh, yeah, I'm choosing to remember. And they're saying you don't have to say I'm choosing to remember, you just say I remember, because that's going deep in the layers and clearing out the stuff. So don't be surprised if you then have weird, crazy things happening, or more of the truth revealed come forward, where you're getting, people that, because that's that part of like, yeah, I don't vibrate with this because I remember. I don't need to go through this experience anymore to bring my whatever, my shift, my thing of like, okay, I'm not going to be with this person anymore because they just don't vibrate with me, or I don't vibrate with them. You don't have to have it be a big something. Just start to do that whole remembrance and let your truth come forward, and pay attention to what you're saying and what you're doing. Look back at your day at the end of the day. What did I do differently that I hadn't done before? Or what did I say? Or what did I remember? And you'll be surprised at stuff that comes forward. The more you do it, the more will come, the more you'll be aware of it, if that makes sense.
I feel like definitely. And people just start to pop out of your life, or all of a sudden I'm shocked at, I'm like, wow, talk about truth revealed. Okay, well, we can't deny that that was going on. And that's happening, as we know, in the world right now. But I'm going to give and I do practice this stuff, practice what I preach. I was doing some mountain biking and haven't done it in a while, and I was nervous and I kept like stalling, and I'm going to walk here. And I remember the second day I was like, I know how to do this. Now, here's the thing. I really did used to do it 10 years ago, but I really dug into, no, I know how to do this. I know the earth. I know. And I really pushed myself and made myself do a couple of little runs that, I'm not going to lie to you, I was kind of scared shitless. And I did it, and I was like, oh my God, that felt so good. It totally flowed. And then the next day, I couldn't get out of my head. I kept pausing, and like right when I was gonna, and I was like, wow, look at that contrast of, and then I'm like, wait, what was different yesterday? Why am I so in my head today? But kind of being okay with it, because then I saw the difference of, and you could logic it out, like, well, you had more energy yesterday and you were more focused, but it was such a good example. Love to give myself examples of, and my husband even looked at me and he was like, what is your problem? You totally charged all this yesterday. I'm like, I can't get out of my head. But these are cool things because I don't know. It's fun to push yourself a little. to see like, you got this, what do you know? And then, put yourself in that little bit of a perhaps adrenaline hit. Now, I don't want anyone to hurt themselves, but I do it. I push a little harder just to see like, so again, back to the fun. And it's just cool. I
Yeah.
swear all these things keep coming up of remembrances and then contrast and then don't be hard on yourself. You gotta always laugh.
Yeah, the fun. But what I really like about that is the fact that you saw the two differences. Like it was like your system saying, okay, Trace, look when you just sort of let go with the flow of things. Two, okay, now you're in head. Now see what you can't do. It's like the awareness is there. Where if I was doing that, I might have gotten frustrated, but like, oh my God, I can't believe I can't do this. Which what you're doing, you're creating more of that whole thing. So it's when you're hitting those things, be very aware, because I do that on the computer all the time. Yes, I did like, oh my God, I just did this. Like, why can I not do this again? I get frustrated. And it's like, no, just look at, clearly you're not in the flow. Take a couple breaths, do whatever you got to do, go back into the flow so that it then comes back. The remembrance comes forward, because they're saying what's happening is the system is going to start to show you in exactly what you just did, the contrast of you in the flow and you're not in the flow. So pay attention and go back into that fluidity, the whole flow of life. And you can even say, like, I flow with life when you wake up in the morning. "Yeah, today's gonna be a great day because I just flow with everything." Or whatever word you want to use. There's no right word, no wrong word. What is that intention for the day? If you're recognizing you're going into whatever work or whatever, and you're having those negative thoughts, oh, so and so is going to be doing this, or change it around, because you will make sure that you bring that to you the more you're doing that. And like they said last time, every second of the day really is a new day. And certainly in the morning is. So what are you going to create for that day?
And don't get frustrated with the contrast, because that's
Yes.
how I learn and grow.
Yep.
I find myself in, oh, did you just look what you did? Look what you're looping, look what you're saying. So find the benefit in the potential yuck, but it's not,
Right.
don't,
Mhm.
I love, and I stole this from someone, don't yuck my yum.
Oh, I like that.
So make your yuck a yum, like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I see what I was doing there. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Easier to talk about because
absolutely. But the more we practice, as we know, the more we practice, the easier it becomes. And if you go down that wrong road, that's okay. When you catch it, that's okay. Jump right back on. Yeah, the fluidity of jump back on that wave,
yep.
right? Anything else?
I was just thinking laughter. Renee and I were going to record one morning and I was in Georgia and we got on and I was like, just so you know, I'm in a crappy mood. Like
Oh
I
yeah, I
remember
remember
that.
that. I do.
And then it could not have been more than 10-15 minutes that we were laughing our butts off, like talking about, I don't even remember what I was in a crappy mood about. And it was so funny and quick. I mean, it turned around so quick to the point that I don't even remember what I was frustrated about. And that's how cool, if you can find a friend, get back in the flow, and it's kind of magical. I don't know. I was just remember I got a camera.
Yeah.
I'm out.
But you're right. Yeah, and don't think about yourself. Like search out somebody that you can say that to or talk to that's not going to mirror that same energy. That's the key. Because had I said, "Oh my God, me too," or "Oh, I totally get it," yeah, and then we just started on that, whatever, that would have been certainly not as fun.
Exactly, because I remember we were laughing like crazy by the
Yeah.
end.
Yep.
So laughter, laughter, laughter. And I do find, to me, laughter is like a little sign of, look at that, you worked right through that pretty quickly. Because now I find myself, we laugh a lot. And it's
Mhm.
kind of like this resolution piece of, or the energetic shift, the cracking that energy, and then it, goes into the laughter. So that's my golden nugget the end.
I put
Find the
the
laughter.
intent, because that was your intention on episode 12, you had said that, because I had pieced together some of what we had talked about that day. Remember that I pieced together and I made it in episode 12, and you said exactly that. Oh my God, look how much laughter we've had. I've put that as my telltale sign.
See, yes.
Yep, and then I said, oh my God, I love that. I'm gonna put that as my sign. And I did, I just had the thought, be like, you know what? Laughter's gonna be my telltale sign, like I'm going with that flow, there we go. And it is, and I find, what's interesting is I find that I've got a lot more laughter in my life since saying that, which is
Me-
very interesting.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all I got. Anything else?
No,
Like, enjoy this, like, oh, the energy here is off the charts. Nice. If you're in Florida, come down to, what is this, Sebastian one? It's just
Sebastian Saltwater. Boats,
Amazing.
restaurant, or just, yeah, coming and
soak up the energy.
soak up the energy. It's good
So
stuff.
nice, yeah.
Can you tell Renee and I are like,
I know, we're like, okay. Wind flow.
we are.
Tracy has to end this thing, so, because I don't know how to use
Oh.
her Mac. She's on a Mac, I'm not a
Never
Mac
Mac.
person. So she'll do that, but, so our last thing is what? Make sure you're fluid, go with the flow.
Fluid, go with the flow, find the laughter, appreciate and the contrast.
Yes.
Remember,
Yeah,
yeah,
go with the flow, the fluidity, and choose wisely.
choose wisely always.
Everybody have an awesome day, and sending you all this positive energy.
Yes, until next time.
Bye.